สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
Report of the World Spiritual University says that people want a variety of things from meditation. Some come for peace, others for control, some for power, and some for silence. But all of the reasons, the ones which are most often expressed, are peace or peace of mind.
However, these two are significantly different. Peace is simply an experience, whereas peace of mind is a way of life.
At some time or the other, we have all enjoyed a moment's peace, however fleeting. Simply to experience peace is not actually so difficult. Peace is something easily attainable through the practice of meditation.
Because that is what meditation is specially designed to give. But to attain peace of mind implies that we want to experience peace constantly. And this is the reason why our show today brings you the 10 homework for daily meditation to help create a peaceful way of life through your practical meditation.
Before we learn the third item of the homework, let's turn all our attention inward to achieve peace by concentrating our thought and energy at the center of our body and feel a sense of detachment from our physical body and physical surroundings.
Become aware of the stillness at the center the whole of the time while listening to the abbot's voice. When you are ready, we shall start our meditation practice together.
แล้วก็รวมใจไปหยุดนิ่งๆนุ่มๆที่ศูนย์กลางกายฐานที่7ซึ่งอยู่ในกลางท้องของเรานะในระดับที่เหนือจากสะดือขึ้นมา2 นิ้วมือนะจ๊ะให้นั่งขัดสมาธิโดยเอาขาขวาทับขาซ้ายมือขวาทับมือซ้ายให้นิ้วชี้ของมือข้างขวาจรดนิ้วหัวแม่มือข้างซ้ายวางไว้บนหน้าตักพอสบายหลับตาของเราเบาๆคลอดลูกพอสบายคล้ายๆกับตอนที่เราใกล้จะหลับอย่าไปบีบเปลือกตาอย่ากดลูกในตานะจ๊ะแล้วก็ทำใจของเราให้เบิกบานให้แจ่มชื่นให้สะอาดบริสุทธิ์ผ่องใสไร้กังวลในทุกสิ่งไม่ว่าจะเป็นเรื่องอะไรก็ตามให้ปลดให้ปล่อยให้วางทำใจให้ว่างๆเราทำการบ้านกันมาทุกวันปฏิบัติธรรมะก็สม่ำเสมอเราเริ่มเข้าใจเกี่ยวกับเรื่องของการวางใจแล้วบางคนพอนึกรวมใจไปที่ศูนย์กลางกายฐานที่7ซึ่งอยู่กลางท้องของเราในตำแหน่งที่เหนือจากสะดือขึ้นมา2 นิ้วมือก็ลงไปได้เลยอย่างสบายเดินไม่เกร็งแล้วก็ไม่กดลูกในตาเพราะฉะนั้นการน้อมเข้ามาตั้งที่ฐานที่7มันง่ายนึกนิดเดียวกันนั่นเองไม่ต้องเยอะนึกแผ่วๆเหมือนเป็นสำนึกลึกๆของความนึกคิดเท่านั้นแหละมันก็ลงมาแล้วที่ฐานที่7ลงไปที่ฐานที่7เลยแล้วหลังจากนั้นน่ะ ใจของเราจะหยุดนิ่งๆอยู่ที่กลางจุดใสๆนิ่งเรื่อยไปเลยนิ่งอย่างสบายๆต้องสบายนะลูกนะอย่าทิ้งคำนี้นะถ้านิ่งอย่างลำบากรู้สึกอึดอัดคับแคบไม่มีความสุขมันไม่สบายเลยทั้งร่างกายและจิตใจไม่ใช่แล้วอย่าดันทุลังดำต่อให้ค่อยๆผ่อนมากคลี่คลายระบบประสาทกล้ามเนื้อค่อยๆ คลายพอเรานึกคลายจิตมันก็จะคลายตัวพอคลายตัวก็สู่ภาวะโล่งๆว่างๆนิ่งใหม่ก็ต้องฝึกกันอย่างนี้แหละฝึกให้ได้แล้วเดี๋ยวเราก็เห็นดวงใสๆมันจะสว่างนั่งแล้วหลับตาแล้วมันไม่มืดเห็นดวงใสๆแล้วก็ดูไปเรื่อยๆนิ่งถูกส่วนมันจะขยายแล้วก็เราก็จะถูกดึงดูดเข้าไปข้างในทั้งดึงทั้งดูดเลยเหมือนมีแม่เหล็กยักษ์อยู่ข้างในนะเป็นแม่เหล็กโลกดูดเข้าไปบางคนก็ตกใจหวาดเสียวเพราะไม่รู้มันอะไรไม่เคยเจอต้องตามใจนะลูกนะอย่าไปฝืนใจอย่าไปฝืนความรู้สึกอย่างนั้นปล่อยไปทำเฉยๆเนี่ยปล่อยคือทำเฉยๆไม่ใช่ดันนะจำนะลูกนะต้องจำนะคือทำเฉยๆเนี่ยเฉยอย่างเดียวแล้วมันจะเป็นของมันไปเองเห็นไหมเจ้าว่าการศึกษาความรู้ภายในเนี่ยมันไม่ได้ยากครับถ้าเรารู้จักเข้าใจแล้วก็วางใจเป็นรู้ขั้นตอนของประสบการณ์ภายในเดี๋ยวเราจะทำได้ทำเป็นกันทุกคนนั่นแหละแต่ก่อนอื่นลูกจะต้องมีความเชื่อมั่นในตัวเองว่าคนอย่างเราเนี่ยทำได้ขอให้รู้วิธีการนั้นแหละที่ถูกต้องเดี๋ยวเราจะทำให้มันถูกต้องและเราก็ทำได้ต้องมีความเชื่อมั่นตรงนี้ก่อนนะลูกนะอย่าไปมัวสงสัยลังเลว่าเราจะทำได้ไหมนะคนอย่างเรานี่กิเลสหนาปัญญาหยาบเนี่ยผ่านชีวิตมาก็หมองมาซะทั้งเยอะจะทำได้ไหมนะเลิกคิดนะลูกนะความคิดชนิดนี้อย่าให้มีในลูกพลาดอย่าให้มีในนักเรียนอนุบาลฝันในฝันวิทยาถ้าเราไม่มั่นใจในตัวเราแล้วเนี่ยเราจะไปทำอะไรได้หลับตาอ้าปากตักอาหารเรามั่นใจยังตักเข้าปากได้เลยนะหลับตาเนี่ยเอานี้วจิ้มรูจมูกเรายังจิ้มได้ยังถูกต้องนะเพราะฉะนั้นเราก็ต้องมั่นใจว่าเราต้องทำได้เพราะเรารู้วิธีการแล้วเนี่ยซึ่งก็บอกไปหมดแล้วไม่ได้มีอะไรปิดบังเลยเนี่ยเราก็ต้องฝึกฝนฝึกไปเรื่อยๆต้องรักอย่างหลงไหลนะฝึกไปนั่งฝึกยืนฝึกเดินฝึกนอนฝึกมีเวลาว่างเป็นฝึกไปเพราะนี่คือวิชาของชีวิตนะลูกนะวิชาที่สำคัญที่สุดของชีวิตเราจะเรียนจบด็อกเตอร์กี่คะแนนก็แล้วแต่มันก็เป็นไปเพื่อให้ได้ปัจจัยสี่มาหรือให้ได้รับความยกย่องนับถือเชื่อถือ เป็นเครดิตในทางสังคมเท่านั้นแหละแต่เวลาใกล้จะละโลกนะมันเอามาช่วยชีวิตไม่ได้นะที่จะไปสู่ปรโลกนะลูกนะสิ่งที่เรากำลังเรียนรู้นี่แหละเรื่องหยุดเรื่องนิ่งนี่แหละจะเป็นสิ่งที่สำคัญที่สุดเป็นวิชาของชีวิตที่แท้จริงเพราะฉะนั้นต้องขยันฝึกฝนอยู่ในห้องน้ำก็ฝึกได้จะขับถ่ายก็ฝึกได้ไม่บาปฝึกบนโถนั่นแหละจะล้างหน้าแปรงฟันแล้วก็ฝึกได้จะอาบน้ำอาบท่าก็ฝึกได้ล้างถ้วยล้างจานล้างชามปัดกวาดบ้านฝึกได้ตรงไหนเราก็ฝึกได้นั่งนอนยืนเดินเพราะเรารู้หลักอยู่แล้วเนี่ยสติสบายสม่ำเสมอหยุดเป็นตัวสำเร็จวางเบาๆใจสบายๆเห็นไหมจ๊ะเรารู้หลักวิชากันแล้วไม่ใช่ว่าเราไม่เรียนรู้นะจะนึกเป็นภาพก็ได้หรือจะไม่นึกเป็นภาพเป็นดวงก็ได้องค์พระก็ได้หลวงปู่คุณยายก็ได้ผลหมากรากไม้เพชรนินจินดาได้ทั้งนั้นยกเว้นภาพที่นึกแล้วใจตกต่ำแต่ถ้านึกแล้วใจสูงส่งบริสุทธิ์นึกได้เห็นไหมเจ้าว่าเรารู้นะเรื่องหลักวิชาแล้ววิธีนึกก็สอนหมดแล้วนะให้เบาๆสบายๆมีสิ่งที่ดีๆอีกเยอะนับไม่ถ้วนอย่างเมื่อเราได้เข้าถึงพระรัตนตรัยในตัวนั่งให้ดีนะลูกนะใครเหนื่อยใครง่วงใครเพลียใครนั่งแล้วตึงก็ปล่อยให้มันหลับไปในกลางพอสดชื่นแล้วก็ตื่นมาทำใหม่ใครเมื่อยก็ขยับฟุ้งก็ลืมตาแล้วก็ว่ากันใหม่ให้ลูกทุกคนสมหวังดังใจในการเข้าถึงพระรัตนตรัยในตัวทุกคนนะลูกนะ
Having returned to our consciousness of peace, I hope your mind become very calm and clear. Plan to practice for about 10 minutes at least 2 times a day.
The best time is in the morning after a wash or shower before you begin your day's activities. Another good time is in the evening when your day's activities are over.
Before the night practice, it is time for doing our meditation homework, which is to recollect the good deeds you have done throughout the past day, week, month, or year. How to do that?
You can start by recollecting the meritorious deeds that have made the biggest impression on your mind, which give you the most joy in retrospect. For Buddhists, perhaps deeds like having led a katina ceremony, having offered robes or sankatana, and for non-Buddhists, perhaps deeds like saving a life of an animal in danger.
Yes, because on remembering the major meritorious deeds we did, the feeling arising will help to make us aware also of the smaller deed we did but may have forgotten.
Benefits of this exercise will be revealed after the interview episode.
สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome to สวนป่าหิมวัน the Midway Meditation Retreat Program in Leh Province. My name is Chantipa Vanishkun. I'll be with you during the interview sessions today. Today we have Miss Hana from Mongolia. She would like to share with you her experience during her meditation retreat. สวัสดีค่ะ
Sadik.
Could you please introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your background?
Sure. My name is Hannah. I'm from Mongolia. Now I'm 14 years old. I'm studying in Mongolia American school.
Anything else?
And my mother is Korean and my father is Mongolian, and they all live in Mongolia.
They all live in Mongolia,
Yeah.
and you're studying in an American school in Mongolia.
Yep.
Okay. And what is your decision that you want to go to spend some time at the meditation to do the meditation?
Actually, because of my parents.
Because of your parents encourage you to do the
Yeah.
meditation. That's very nice. Okay. And have you practiced meditation before you came here?
Yes. When I was 8 years old, in Mongolia, I was in Vipassana meditation center in Mongolia.
Okay.
But at the time I just left. I didn't feel anything. I just didn't try.
You didn't try, but you started when you were about 8 years old.
Yeah.
How is it? Is it the same kind of meditation or is it different?
Similar.
Similar?
Yeah, because I studied Vipassana, so that I just have to say like similar.
Similar.
Yeah.
Okay. And what did you learn in this session?
And
But what did you learn? What the monk teach you?
About Buddhist and a lot of stories about big like really good persons, people like in about.
They teach you. They taught you about Buddhist cultures and how to do meditation.
Yeah, first I'm not sure about meditation, but now I think I'm like sure about meditation, how to do that and how I do like.
Okay, you said the meditation that you learned here and what the one that you have been practicing before is very similar. It's similar, and but it should be not too hard for you then.
No, it was hard.
It was hard. It's
Yeah.
still hard for you.
Yeah.
But it's harder or it's just easier? It's just similar, but how is it? Because you used to practice Vipassana meditation, and how you change to another kind of meditation.
Actually, the Vipassana, I didn't try too hard. I said that.
Didn't try too hard.
So this time I actually tried hard.
But you try harder. You spend more time to do meditation.
Yeah.
That's what you mean.
Yeah.
Before you didn't care to do much of meditation.
Yeah.
Okay, but how about this kind of meditation, right? Is it easier than before?
Yeah, easier than before.
It's easier than before.
Yeah, but still hard.
It's still hard. Okay, maybe you can explain how do you feel during your practice meditation?
I can say it's like easy. So first I imagine, I just try to imagine like crystal ball with Buddha, the lighting Buddha inside of my body, and the light try to go out from my body. So I just imagining. Suddenly that crystal ball disappeared, but lighting body with lighting line is shaped like human, inside of my body, but he was not me. I think he was Buddha inside of my body, and I felt he is me. And I feel inside, I'm inside of my body, and I want to go out that box. I'm felt I'm box shaped like human. I want to go out from there, and I want to. If I go out from there, I thought I can feel free, and I can fly. I just thought that.
You just feel that during your meditation.
Yeah, and in the center of my body, there's fireball, fireball, like make heat inside of me.
Okay.
And if I took like deep breath, it's like more heater, the getting heater,
It's getting hotter and
yeah,
hotter.
hotter, and it feels relaxed and really
But
good.
you feel relaxed, even though you said that it's five fireballs in there. So
But it's really good feeling.
but you said you feel the heat, but you feel very relaxed in
yeah,
there.
but it was really good feeling.
Uh-huh.
And actually, I really don't want to go out, like.
You don't want to
like,
finish.
Yeah, and I want to like just like continue it, but I have to stop it because time's up. And
Time's up, right? But did the monks tell you that if you have good experience like that, you can just keep continuing?
yes, I knew that after.
And you knew it after.
Yeah.
But say first time you imagine your crystal ball and after that become lighting in that, and you saw the shape of the human in there.
Yeah,
in your
first
body?
I imagined, but that suddenly disappeared, and I can't imagine it again. But like lighting line, with, like make shape like human, like
Okay.
kind of man. I can't say that woman or man, and I'm feeling I'm human. That's inside of my body.
Okay, and
yeah.
that how do you feel when you have that pictures in yourself?
Feel relaxed and like wandering and like wandering, relaxed and comfortable. Like
Okay,
things.
do you feel very relaxed? You feel
Yeah,
very happy with yourself?
yeah,
not like
really
that?
happy that.
Oh, that's very nice. Okay, and maybe because you have a very good experience, inner experience like that, very good one, and maybe you want to share the techniques that you use during your meditation.
Actually, I can't make sure the technique because I just imagined. Like,
You just use your imagination.
Yeah.
You just image.
I didn't try to concentrate. I just concentrate on my imagine, like crystal ball.
You have to be just totally relaxed. First, relax your head into your toes. You have to relax the whole body, and you can just after that you start to use your imagination.
No,
So because
no, because I just first imagine like actually I use my brain, and after that I just like feel a relax. I didn't first like try to be a relax. Like after that feeling, I felt a relax.
Okay, what is your feeling of the whole day after you have that kind of good meditation?
Happy.
Very happy,
Always
all the-
smiling and laughing.
That's very nice. Okay, and do you think that this kind of meditation will help you in everyday's life?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm really sure about it.
You're really sure about it. What do you plan to use the meditation in your life? For your studying, for your routine? Day?
If I tired, I want to be my body relaxed. I
Sure.
want to relax because I like, yeah.
Okay. And what is the most impressive experience that you have received from this retreat? Besides you happy, you see the crystal ball, you see the
Man or woman, I think.
man or woman you don't know in your body, you feel relaxed. What else do you feel? What is the most impressive?
After that, after day, next day, I tried to see that man again, but I couldn't. So like I getting angry to me, but I just like let it go that angry, and I try to concentrate on my breath. But and I try to imagine my crystal ball again, but that's not comes out. Like it's really hard to me, but again suddenly like fireball come out again.
The fireball come up again?
And like I feel heat again. I felt heat again, and in front of me, like that man comes out again, but with lightning dots.
But lighting
Dots and come around me and go inside of me, and I can't see him again. I couldn't see him again.
Because now he's instead of he come appear in front in your body, is he appear in front of you with the lighting stars around and going to you.
Yeah.
And how do you feel after that?
Really happy and like
happy
yeah.
again. You're very lucky. Okay, and You're a very lucky person to have
Thank
that.
you.
And maybe because could you tell me why? Because you said you really want to have that pictures in yourself again, but you try to meditate, but you could not get that pictures back in your mind, and you feel so frustration. You know what's the reason?
I asked from monk, teaching monk, and he said that just don't try, just let it be and let it go. And
Don't try too hard and let it be.
Yeah. So, but because I try to get it again, and then, so don't feel like that. Just he said that, and I'm trying.
It's mean like
again.
don't use your force, right? Don't use your force. You have to get it, right?
Yeah,
you have to be relaxed.
And like let it go
and
and let
picture
it be.
Came back again.
Yeah.
To you. That can meditation bring happiness to people around the world?
If people, they all can try hard, yes, sure.
People can try hard with meditation.
Yeah.
You mean people have to do meditation
Actually, yes, if they can and if they want.
just so they can be happy like you.
Yes.
Okay, what is your inspiration after this? Like teach others and go back and tell your parents and introduce
I just
to your friends?
tell my feeling to my parents. I'm sure they will be happy.
Maybe you want to use that inspiration. You want to take that and to just start to tell all your friends the good news and start to teach them the meditation. Want them to be happy like you.
Yes, and I will continue my meditate still if I go to home.
Okay, and how about we're talking about the location here. What do you think? How do you like it to
really nice
meditate
nature.
here?
Actually, that's nature is different from Mongolia, but still good. Mongolia has a lot of good nature too, but there's different. But feeling really like soft, like really good nature, and I like here.
Would you like it here? Maybe would you like to come back again if you have a chance?
Sure.
Well, next time, would you like to bring your parents over to try
Yeah,
meditation?
I want to, but they are really busy
Yeah,
people.
we'll see. Maybe in the future they might have time.
Sure.
If you share with them your experience and how beautiful the place is, of course they want to come with you.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. You are sitting in front of DMC channel, right? At the around the world, and people around the world are watching you right now. Anything you'd like to share with them, your experience or anything you'd like to tell them?
Actually, I feel really good when I really feel really relaxed when I'm meditating. So if you try like me, not like me, if you try hard, maybe you can feel more than me. And please come join. You will learn more.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing your experience with us. It's a very great experience, and we hope to see you again this retreat. See you again with your family this next time.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Having returned to our consciousness of peace, I hope your mind become very calm and clear. Plan to practice for about 10 minutes at least 2 times a day.
The best time is in the morning after a wash or shower before you begin your day's activities. Another good time is in the evening when your day's activities are over.
Before the night practice, it is time for doing our meditation homework, which is to recollect the good deeds you have done throughout the past day, week, month, or year. How to do that?
You can start by recollecting the meritorious deeds that have made the biggest impression on your mind, which give you the most joy in retrospect. For Buddhists, perhaps deeds like having led a katina ceremony, having offered robes or sankatana, and for non-Buddhists, perhaps deeds like saving a life of an animal in danger.
Yes, because on remembering the major meritorious deeds we did, the feeling arising will help to make us aware also of the smaller deeds we did but may have forgotten.
Benefits of this exercise will be revealed after the interview episode.
everybody. Today we will talk more about the enlightenment of the Buddha. Last time I talked about how the Buddha discovered the middle way within, how the Eightfold Path is actually a path within that is hidden inside. Just like one would excavate an old monument or an old city or an old road, and we discover something that was hidden for a long time. The same way the Buddha discovered the middle way within. And we can also discover this middle way, each and every one of us, because it exists within as a reality, not just as an intellectual concept. So this is some important discovery that was explained further by Lom Pu Wat Pak Nam Sochantasaro, who was the discoverer of Vichadhammakaya, the true knowledge of Dhammakaya. So today I will talk about the enlightenment of the Buddha a little bit more, and then make the link, continue about how Lom Pu Wat Pak Nam was able to explain the teachings of the Buddha and the practice of the Buddha in further detail in a way that made it very clear and very easy to practice for many people. So at that time when the Buddha had discovered the way to practice the mind to stillness and to peace within, and to finally in that way discover the reality of life, discover and penetrate with wisdom the reality as it really is. He discovered, first of all, as I mentioned last time, his previous lives. Secondly, he also saw the previous lives of other beings, other people, other animals all around him. And he could see how people were reborn, born and reborn, and that they experienced happiness or suffering according to what they had done. And this is the basic principle, what we call in Buddhism the law of karma. Karma or karma means action. I won't go into much detail today, as I have already in a previous episode, but I would like to just say that this was the second true knowledge that he discovered. So he discovered about how beings in this world fare according to their karma. When they act like this or like that, then they have to receive the results of their actions. This is not something that the Buddha he came up with as a concept, as an idea, but it was something he actually saw, clearly saw with penetrative wisdom. When he was able to see it like that, he then discovered that everyone is subject to this law of karma, and that made him understand the reality even better. And finally, he then moved inside, or looked inside and found that, and concentrated his mind. And he saw that he was able to see his own mind. He was able to see his own mind and was able to see the taints or the defilements in the mind. Taints or the defilements in the mind are the impurities in the mind or the obstructions in the mind that prevent the mind from being pure, or that obstruct the mind from being pure, cover up the mind that is pure. And these defilements exist within every human being and are the cause of our suffering. But these defilements or these taints, as soon as the Buddha was able to bring the mind to stillness within and made it stable, made it wieldy, made it malleable, made it pure and bright, and the light grew stronger within. He then was able to see these things, just like you would look into go to a mountain and look into a lake, and you could see the oysters, the other animals, the fish, all very clearly, like mountain lakes are very clear. If you ever been to the French Alps or any other mountain area, you can see that there is that the lakes are very clear in the mountains. You can see very clearly everything. The same way he could see very clearly his own mind. And sometimes we like other people to understand our own mind, to understand us. But have we really understood ourselves? Now, at that moment, the Buddha really understood himself as he saw his own mind. And when he saw his own mind, he then also was able to see the taints and defilements in the mind. And as soon as he saw them, he had overcome them. He was able to completely remove them. Just like he has described in the Udana, he said that someone who practices himself with effort, he can discover these things. He can attain enlightenment, just like the sun is rising and dispels the darkness within. The sun doesn't need any object to remove the darkness. It doesn't need any weapons. It doesn't need any tools. Because as soon as the sun appears, the darkness is dispelled. In the same way, the mind's darkness, its ignorance, its delusion, and its defilements were completely dispelled as soon as the Buddha discovered enlightenment. This is the essence of the Buddha's teaching. If we understand the enlightenment of the Buddha very clearly, we will understand Buddhism clearly. But if we do not understand the enlightenment of the Buddha clearly, we will not understand Buddhism clearly. As some people have called it a philosophy, some people have called it a very good theory or a very good science. All of these terms may be misleading if we do not really understand the enlightenment of the Buddha very clearly. But you might call it a philosophy or a science or religion or whatever, as long as we understand about the enlightenment of the Buddha. And one other important thing is that this path of practice, he then also taught to others. And he taught it not just for 1 year or 2 years, but through his entire life. From the moment that he became enlightened, he was 35 years old. So the moment he passed away into Nibbana, when he was already 80 years old, which is a period of 45 years, which we sometimes call the sasana or the dispensation. That period he taught without any hesitation, without any tiredness. He would just teach all people that were interested about the practice of the mind and wanted to learn about how the mind can be purified. He would teach them all. And during that time, many people will be able to attain enlightenment in his footsteps. Some people ask me, what is the difference between enlightenment and becoming a Buddha? To become a Buddha is a path that is open to everyone as well, to all beings. Because becoming a Buddha is also a state that human beings can attain. It's not just a name of Prince Siddhartha who had attained enlightenment. It's not a name, but it's actually a title that was used for the Buddha. As soon as he attained enlightenment, we call him the Buddha, which means the enlightened one, or the awakened one, or the joyful one in Thai Pali tradition. And that is his title that we use for him. But this is something that is a state that is possible to attain for human beings in general. Well, how is it different then from enlightenment? Like the students of the Buddha, the disciples of the Buddha became enlightened. How are they different then from the Buddha? They are different in that the Buddha became enlightened by himself. He was the first person to discover enlightenment by himself without anyone teaching him. And then his students or his disciples discovered it because he taught them the path. Which shows that this path was just not just an individual path, or it's just not a path only for the Buddha, but also a path that every human being can practice. This path, which he taught as the Eightfold Path, he then taught to all beings that had the potential to attain this enlightenment. He would teach them for many years. And he taught very simple, starting with right view, to have a positive but realistic view about life. To understand that when we do good, persistence pays off. To understand that all our deeds matter. All our moral deeds matter. And to basically develop a reasonable moral reasoning, a healthy moral reasoning. At the very basic level, it's like that. And at the more deeper level, it's actually a real understanding about life. And then all the other factors, they follow as a result. Right thought, to think in a positive way, not to hurt others. Right speech, to speak in a right way, not to hurt others. Right action, to act in a right and just way, not to hurt others, and not to hurt yourself also. Right livelihood, which means to have a profession that doesn't hurt yourself or others. And right effort, which means to practice these parts of the Eightfold Path that I mentioned in a regular way until it becomes habitual. It means that we would like to develop all that is wholesome in the mind and to abandon all that is unwholesome. And then there is what we might call right mindfulness. Right mindfulness means to be aware, not to let the mind be absent, wander, to be present-minded rather than absent-minded. And also, then there is the final aspect of the Eightfold Path, that is right concentration, which means actually to guide the mind inwards, to discover that the mind can be made subtle and more pure by bringing it inwards. This Eightfold Path is what he's taught for over his entire life. And many people attain enlightenment in his footsteps. But unfortunately, since Buddhism is a religion of reason, of understanding things by reason, and is a religion which is very subtle and profound, or is a teaching which is very subtle and profound. In some periods of time, the people could understand and practice it. In some periods, they could not. After the Buddha passed away into Nibbana, 500 years later, Buddhism was very well supported during a certain period, especially during the period of Asoka the great emperor. But this great support also had its disadvantages. And whatever happened, we do not know in all the details, but what is certain is that Buddhism in those days became more and more intellectual. And the practice was forgotten. The monks who had practiced themselves slowly started to separate themselves more and more. And the ones who perpetuated and taught the tradition were the ones who didn't practice much, or practiced less than the ones who retreated in the forest, withdrew themselves. So these groups developed. This is not talking about any specific councils or something. It's just something that happened at that time, that Buddhism became more intellectual. People started to debate and discuss rather than to meditate and to practice what the Buddha taught for themselves, to discover the end of suffering for themselves and to make it true. So then what happened is that the teaching of the Buddhas and the core of the teaching, the true Dhamma or the Sattama, was lost. And this happened in those days. The true teaching of the Buddha, or the core teaching, is what we call the Dhammakaya, or the body, of enlightenment of the Buddha, which is the truth that can be found within. This truth was rediscovered again many years later by a person called Dong Pu Wat Pak Nam Sotchantasaro. That doesn't mean that in those days, that before those days, there wasn't any Buddhism. There was. But the core teaching was forgotten or lost, and little traces remained. In the time of Luang Pu Wat Pak Nam, he rediscovered this teaching, this practice, by dedicating his life to it. And that he was that earnest that he could discover something that was lost. He was that earnest, that strong in his practice, that he dedicated and sacrificed his life in it. But he didn't die. He didn't die in the practice. Luang Pu Wat Pak Nam was born as in Thailand during a time when there was a lot going on in Asia. It was the time shortly after, at the end of the colonial times, when the Western powers were colonizing parts of Asia. In those days in Sri Lanka, and also to some extent in Burma, there was a great revival movement of Buddhism, to revive the practices of Buddhism. And the greater emphasis was put on the Tipitaka, or the text. And it was believed that it was more important to follow what was in the text than to follow what one's teachers said. This was a common idea in those days, that one should follow the text most of all. This is not wrong. But to say that it's exactly what the Buddha taught would be wrong. Because the Buddha did not teach actually to only follow what is written in a text or what is formally transmitted as the Tipitaka or as a formal teaching. He did not deny that one could listen to your teachers as a valuable source of knowledge. And he recommended his students to listen to any teachers that had any interesting dhammas, important dhammas for the practice of the mind, and to compare this with what you already know. In other words, if you come across any teachings which you are not familiar with, to compare and see whether this is somehow compatible with the teaching that you already know. So the Buddha, he never taught that anything that is not in the Tipitaka is wrong. But he did, of course, teach that his core teachings should be, well, it is very likely that he already taught that these teachings, even in his time, were already put in were already collected and formalized into suttas, or discourses, and books. Not books of paper, but books like a collection of teachings which were orally transmitted, but formally organized. So you had one person, another person, each taking care of a particular teaching of the Buddha, which they would, commit to the memory, and then teach it to their students again. So this this happened from the time of the Buddha, but it's never said by the Buddha that this was the only source, the only valuable source of knowledge of evaluating the Buddha's teaching or understanding the Buddha's teaching. However, in those days, this was the common interpretation and becoming more and more common. So that in Sri Lanka, Burma, and also following the example of Burma, in Thailand, it became common to see any meditation practice that was not actually, that didn't have any, that was not fully based on the Tipitaka as wrong. And it became common to use meditation practices that were written in the Tipitaka as a foundation of practice, which I will, for many reasons, not comment on today. But it's very clear from the teaching of the Buddha himself that it's not really valid to say that what any teacher teaches that is not in the Tipitaka, if it's compatible with the teachings of the Buddha, then there's nowhere that it says that it's wrong. Anyway, in those days, that was the climate that Luang Pu became a monk in those days. And this has happened, it has happened often in the history of Buddhism, that for many reasons, to preserve Buddhism, to be able to debate, discuss, and to talk with other traditions, that certain elements of Buddhism were more and more emphasized, especially the intellectual elements, especially the reflective elements, especially the elements of insight and something like that. Those elements were more and more emphasized, which are important elements of Buddhism, but not, sometimes not the whole picture. There's a lot of evidence in the Buddhist text that actually, originally, the Buddha taught that samatha and vipassana, or meditation on serenity and meditation for insight, that these two practices went hand in hand, were both practiced. But in later times, this seems to have been interpreted differently. But these are all examples of how the teaching changed. During the time of Luang Pu Wat Pak Nam, it was widely believed that enlightenment was something that could not be attained anymore. Enlightenment, that thing that the Buddha has sacrificed his life for. And the Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree, under the tree of enlightenment, and said, I will lay down my life, put my life on the line to attain this Dhamma. That enlightenment was believed to be obsolete, or something that could not be discovered anymore. In other words, you could say it's obsolete or something like that. That was the common belief in the time of Luang Pu Wat Pak Nam that he grew up. So this is an interesting observation. However, we will see that he did not follow this belief, and he himself went to search for what is the true core of the teaching of the Buddha, in search for enlightenment. Because the teaching of the Buddha and the enlightenment is called akaliko, timeless, which means it can, apart from the meaning, it has meant, this word has more than one meaning, but one important meaning is that it's possible in any age, in any time. When anyone has practiced his mind in the right method, to the right extent, with the right effort, to discover this enlightenment. So this is an important thing. So during this time, Luang Pu Wat Pak Nam grew up, and he finally was able to change this climate, when meditation was, because of him, going to be emphasized more and more. So I will talk in the next episode, I will talk more about this. And we will talk about Luang Pu Wat Pak Nam and how he grew up and discovered this truth within. So that will be all for my talk today. Saran Pon.
We actually come to the close of our show. Before lying down to go to sleep tonight, we want you to sit up in bed, drink a glass of warm water while recollecting your good deeds continuously until you fall to sleep.
Recollecting your merits can be multiplied further if you make a resolution on the basis of your good deeds while calling upon the perfection of paramita of your root teachers, starting from the Buddha, หลวงพ่อวัดปากน้ำ คุณยายมหารัตนอุบาสิกาจันทร์ขนนกยูง down to หลวงพ่อธรรมชโย to consolidate our merit by imagining our teachers at the center of our bodies or feeling that we are at the center of theirs.
The application of meditation homework we have brought you today can ensure you a peaceful night with a deep rest, so please try it. Finally, Sharna and we would like to thank you for watching our show and for your valuable comment. Hope to see you again next week. Goodbye.
สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ